Welcome to our DELMIA podcast, Global Operations on the Go. I'm your host, Therese Snow. Today, we're continuing our series that features women who are making a difference. I'm so pleased to announce that this is a really, truly insightful and personal show with our guest, Laila Lechopier, DELMIA, SCPO Advocacy Manager, Senior Manager. Laila will be discussing her involvement with the Dassault Systèmes Cancer at Works project, along with her own personal journey as a breast cancer survivor. Laila, welcome.
Hello, Therese. I'm very happy to be here and to share my experience with you and with all the DELMIA followers.
Absolutely. So glad that you are our guest today and were able to make it. Thank you for attending. And let's start now with the basics, what you do and how long you have been at DELMIA.
In fact, I'm working on the supply chain market since more than 25 years. I was previously working in Hortemse, which is a company which was acquired by Dassault Systèmes 5 years ago. I was a marketing manager for 9 years in this company prior to the acquisition. And since I'm in Dassault Systèmes, I'm still working in marketing. I'm part of the DELMIA marketing team. I am focused on some events which are in France, and also all the program around customer, which is a DELMIA advocacy service in our company. So we do a lot of things. I'm managing the recruitment of user champion. I'm doing a lot of testimonial, and I really like to visit customer, to visit factory, to understand how they are doing things and how our solution can help them to work better. So it's a type of storytelling also to work with customer and to try to have the best way to explain the stories that they are working with our solution.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Certainly enough to keep you busy, which is even more impressive that you have projects even above and beyond your normal work. So, for example, I understand that you've been involved in a Dassault Systèmes cancer prevention project. For our listeners, Dassault Systèmes signed the Working with Cancer Pledge, basically showing their unwavering commitment to health and well-being and providing a favorable and frankly suitable environment that enables our colleagues who are affected by cancer to continue working in the way that they want to do so. This is basically following a global initiative in 2021, which is a Dassault Systèmes We Care for Your Health initiative. Adding to that, Laila, I understand that you personally have been involved in a countrywide initiative called Cancer at Work. Can you please tell our listeners about Cancer at Work?
Yes, of course. So Cancer at Work is a French organization. They work every day to change the way society and business view patients in order to allow everyone, patient, caregiver, operational manager, colleagues, human resource, and every department to live better with cancer and chronic disease, because it could be also chronic disease. And the way it's how can you work with all this type of disease at work? So Dassault Systèmes is part of this program, and the purpose is to have better comprehension and to train manager when they face with people on their team, for example, who have this sort of treatment, because of course it's not so easy sometimes for manager to know and to understand how to work with their colleague and to face this sort of disease. So, for example, how to support them when they are out of work, how to help them when they go back to work, how to adapt the job for them, because they can be quite tired. So really, purpose of Cancer at Work is really to help the company to adapt and understand how to work better with people who have and who are facing to a cancer. For example, they have also an initiative for people when they had a cancer and, for example, they are looking for a job. So you can help. They can have some recruitment inquiries with a volunteer like me, for example, to train and to be more confident because they want to change their work after cancer. One of the initiatives of Cancer at Work is really to help people also when they are ill and when they go back also to work, which is not always so easy because, of course, as I say, they could be less tired. Sometimes they want to do a lot of things, but in fact, as they are more tired, that can stress them. So it's really important that sometimes all the environment can be adapted to the people when they go back to work.
You definitely make some good points, just the being tired and the stress of going back to work in addition to, dealing with cancer or a chronic illness. So, Laila, I understand that you yourself are a cancer survivor and you have your own personal experience to share with other people. Can you please tell us about your experience and how that experience has influenced you in helping others?
Yes, of course. So I had a breast cancer 10 years ago, and it shows that having a cancer really changed your world and your life. Life is not exactly the same. I remember my boss at Hortemps when he knew that I had a cancer, he told me, there will be a life before and a life after cancer. And that is it's really true. Because I think cancer can make you better and help you to go to the point to realign your priority. So, of course, as a breast cancer survivor, I have the experience and I can share with other people because I know how you feel. I know when you learn that you have a cancer, everything is so terrific at the beginning. You are very anxious for your family. You are very anxious sometimes also for yourself. And I know all the steps that you can go through when you are sick. So, for example, like a lot of people who have breast cancer, I have lose my hair. And I know how much it could be difficult to face with this new challenge. I know about the chemotherapy, how much you are tired. And of course, one thing which is really important when you are ill is the fact that you are very anxious for your family and for all your children if you have. And of course, also you can be anxious also by your work. You want to be sure that when you will be again the same for you. So all these sort of things is something that I know. So for some people, it's really important to continue to work. For others, no. Me, I know that it was very important. So at the beginning, I really wanted to work 2 days by week. So I did it during 3 months. And after I started with the chemotherapy to be very tired. And my boss said, no, I don't want to see you anymore at the office. You really need to rest and to take your time. So, and I think, when I can see that now with the time, that perhaps I go back to work very quickly. I remember it was just the day after my last radiotherapy and my doctor didn't want it, but I really insisted and I said, no, I want to go back to work. For me, it was very important. But in fact, I was quite tired, so it was a little bit stressful. So, now I know that it would have been better if I would have taken perhaps just 1 month more, which was not so much, at the end. But sometimes you need to do your own experience. So what I want to, if possible, is to share my journey. And also what I really expect is to help people with my journey. Of course, everybody will have his own journey and it's not the same for everybody. But I think with Cancer at Work, what is really important is to be able to have access to people where you can speak with, share with others who have the same type of experience. Of course, some people would like to do it, some won't. It's depending, but it's important that inside a company that if you have this sort of challenge, you will have people who can help and support you. So, for example, in the initiatives that I am working with in Cancer at Work, we have one initiative which help people, to have some support during their journey, and other initiative which is how to help people when they will go back to work.
Absolutely. It's really easy to understand based on your experience how you're able to share your experience, would it have been important to you and helpful with your own journey? For example, can you walk us through how you were able to overcome not having someone to share your experience with and the resources that you yourself and Dassault offers today?
When I was sick and when I have learned about my cancer, really, you have the impression that the world is falling in your head. At the beginning of my cancer, I had the opportunity to share with some friends, who have this experience. I was quite young. I was 46 years old, which is quite young for a breast cancer. And I had some friend who have someone who had this experience. And it was really helpful for me to share with 2 or 3 women to know a little bit better what will happen to me, how the chemo will be, how is the challenge to lose your hair, some tips and tricks that they can have. So really for me, it was something important. But what happened to me in my case is that 2 years after all my treatments, I had the result of genetic screening, and I have learned that I was a carrier of the BRCA1 gene, which is a very, very bad gene, one of the most dangerous in the breast cancer. So the first thing is that my capacity to have a new concept was terrifically huge. The older I got, the more my chance will be to be sick again, and will be able to increase till 95%, which was absolutely terrific, And to be honest, when you had the experience to have chemotherapy and to have surgery, all that, to have survived all these steps, you don't want to go through again. So I had 2 choices at this possibility, 2 options: to have regular mammography and scan every 6 months with the feeling of having a sword of Damocles above my head, or to take the decision to remove my ovaries and my breast. I remember when I had the results of my genetic screening, I was with my husband, and I just get out of the hospital, and I said to my husband, well, I don't think I will be able to remove my ovaries and my breast. It's so hard. I need to think about it. And my husband say, anyway, I don't know. It's such a personal decision that I cannot tell you to do something. It's really your own responsibility. What you need to know is that whatever your decision, I'm here and I will support it. But it's your body. So I don't want to influence you. It's really something that you should feel. And I just take, time of the weekend to read a lot of things regarding this genetic screening. When I see what was the option of BRCA1, really for me, no option. Even 2 days after, I took really the decision to remove my ovaries and my breast. And I really try to find people who have this experience, I try to call different associations to see if I can share with people who have done that in order to have an idea how it was, to remove the breast, because the ovaries for me was not really a problem because I had already a daughter, but it was really the breast was a little bit more complicated for me and impossible to find anybody to help me. And you have to understand that 10 years ago, it was not such common in France to do that. And really, to be frank, what really helped me at exactly the same moment, Angelina Jolie really communicated about her gene, about the fact that she took the decision to remove also her breast and I suppose her ovaries because on her family, I think she lost her mother, her sister, and very young. And to see someone like her, which is a really beautiful woman, to take this decision and to be able to say it to everybody really helped me. Perhaps it could be stupid, but really for me, it was a help to say, I can continue to be a woman, no worry, even if I have no more my breast. So I stopped to work for 4 weeks. I was 47. And during this period, I think it was really important for me to do something nice, to change lead into gold and to face the challenge. I had a childish dream since I was 12, because I knew when I was 12 somebody was doing that, and that was really impressive for me. And I wanted to tell story to sick children in hospital. So I decided to take this time where I will be at home to see how I can do it in my town and how I can organize it. This is why, in fact, I decided to become a storyteller for hospital. In fact, when I think storyteller was quite an evidence, because I'm coming from a Norwegian mother, so all the Scandinavian tales are part of my world. My mother was telling me the story of Andersen, like The Little Mermaid or The Little Match Girl. And as my father was Algerian, so I was worked with the tales of One Night. For example, all the story of Sherazad and Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves or Aladdin, a lot of tales which are very famous. So when I decided to organize this project, I wanted to be able to do it after work. So, it was around night, because I was not able to go to the hospital before 6:30 or 7. And in fact, you have a lot of activity during the day for children, but nothing, at this time. In fact, it's a time which is difficult for children, because it's a time where sometimes the family should go back home, because they have sometimes a younger child that they should manage also. So it's time which is not so easy, for children, because it's the end of the day, the night is coming. So sometimes a very difficult period. So I found a hospital for child in Lyon, who was very happy that I can have this project. And I started to do that and to tell story to ill children, which is very interesting experience. I learned a lot with them. And I think the fact to be ill was easier for me, because I know what sort of things they could face, even if I'm not working in a cancer service. But anyway, I know how to, because where I'm working a service where it's majority of chronic disease. So I saw children sometimes for many years because they have chronic disease. And I see children who have to live with a disease. Of course, what I like with the story, it's a way of really help people, to feel better, because they can travel, they can imagine, they can just stop the time and enter in a tell time where everything is stopped and you go in a new world, which is a little bit more magic. And you really see that, for me, the best thing when I can see a big smile on the face of some children who say, "Oh, thank you, I feel better now. I will have a good night. Thank you so much for the story." So last year, in fact, I decided to launch my activity as a storyteller, not just for hospital, but also for children in school, or also for doing, for example, a children's birthday, but also family, meeting. And I do a lot of storytelling for women and for adults, because I have a lot of story coming from the book that I love to read. And I think with the storytelling, you really touch things like self-confidence, subconscious. You can really touch emotion and imagination. So it's really help people, to dream, to travel. It's not something that you read, because when you are a storyteller, you never read text. You just tell a story, never exactly the same way. And I think it's, so you adapt also some details, sometimes with the people that you will be in face to you. So it's not exactly something which is exactly the same. It's always a new experience. I think I like a lot. Also, it's really helped me, because since my cancer, I don't have very, very, very good night. So when I wake up, I work on my stories, I don't wake up. I stay in my bed and I imagine some new details that I can add to one of my character in the story. I say, oh no, perhaps this time I can imagine that he's like that, and you have these sort of things. Because it's the fact that all the details that you will give to people will help them to imagine. I think it's really what I like is to create really picture to people. Picture, and of course, if I told you, imagine on a street a woman working, she have long hair, you will imagine your woman, and it won't be the same as my woman. I think it's something that I really like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with your storytelling and, as you mentioned, creating the magic and a dream and giving, patients something else to think about, right? An escape. And clearly you do it well. Laila, your journey is really inspirational, and it's clear to see how you've touched so many lives, and you'll continue to do so. I'm sure making a positive impact on many, many more through your great storytelling. So is there a way to help our listeners who either need someone to share a story with or get involved, hear a story, something, in order to help people with cancer or other chronic illnesses, or even help themselves?
So anyway, for Cancer at Work, it's only in Dassault Systèmes in France. But for me, if anyone who is listening to this podcast want to have some support, who want to talk, I will be very happy just to be here. So don't hesitate to contact me for that. For this aspect, I will be always very happy to support you as far as I can. And if regarding my storytelling activity, I have created a Facebook and an Instagram, and my website is in progress. I hope perhaps it will be ready beginning of the year. The name of the activity is Voyage en mots, which means travel in words, because I love the travel. And I think for me, what is interesting with the activity of storytelling is that really you help people to travel. And I like also a story coming from everywhere in the world. I think it's my DNA, to travel, freedom, self-confidence, and just help people to be more confident. Everything is inside us. Sometimes we don't know it. That's all. And we have a lot of resources. And I think even a disease and to have been ill help you also to find all the treasures that you have inside you. And we have so many.
Yep, absolutely. Very eloquently said. And I can definitely agree with that being in your DNA, the traveling, the storytelling, and bringing so much to others. So thank you for that. And I will certainly be sure to post the information about the Facebook, Instagram, and upcoming website where the podcast is hosted. So thank you so much, Laila, for taking the time to speak with me today and share your story.
Thank you very much, Therese. It was really interesting for me to share this experience, and I hope, again, that it can help people. So if you need to talk to someone who has this sort of experience, really feel free to contact me. I will be very happy to support you.
I am sure that's so appreciated, and our listeners will keep that in mind, definitely. So thank you again, Laila. And right now, I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in. I'm your host, Therese Snow, and you've been listening to DELMIA's podcast, Global Operations on the Go.